revealed, "My son's incredible gift of a BMW to his mother-in-law, while I received only 3 on." Tom's heart raced as he stared at the crisp envelope in his hand, the subtle sheen of the seal mocking him. He opened it slowly, dreading what he might find. Nothing could prepare him for the confrontation his eyes met. A mere 3 bill tucked inside, accompanied by a note from Matt that simply read, "Happy birthday, Dad." The weight of it crashed over him like a tidal wave, pushing him down into a sea of inadequacy. Moments earlier, he'd watched his son bounce into the room, beaming with pride over the BMW he had just gifted his mother-in-law. Meanwhile, Tom was left clutching an insignificant sum, a pitiful reflection of the depth of his own failure. He shuffled his gaze from Matt's excited chatter to the BMW parked proudly in the driveway, a symbol of success. A success Tom felt had slipped between his fingers. Days of relentless work, tightening budgets, and late nights spent poring over architectural plans seemed to shrink to nothing in light of this ostentation. He had always instilled the value of hard work in Matt, yet now, faced with this shocking exhibit, Tom questioned if he had set the right example. Was this what success looked like? A luxury vehicle for someone else, while he grappled with a growing financial burden, the firm on the brink of collapse? Each evening as he pored over the household budget, feelings of resentment swirled inside him, a chaotic mixture of anger and despair. His wife adored the car, frequently gushing about its features, while he was left to calculate expenses on paper that felt heavier each day. Here was evidence of everything he worried about: the constant threat of financial strain, the dread that weighed down his chest, the potential to divert his family from the values he cherished. The thought pierced deeper still, as whispers of his mother-in-law began to cloud his mind, planting doubts, stirring discontent. "Your father just isn't the architect he used to be," echoed the words he had begun to dread. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned into weeks, each filled with a gnawing ache of betrayal, as Tom noted the easy praise his mother-in-law bestowed upon Matt, each compliment reinforcing Tom's fear of inadequacy. It was painful to confront the truth, that the man he raised, the values he impressed, were now put to question by the very person he had deemed family. Then, an unexpected discovery in the cluttered garage caught his eye: the old woodworking tools once held by his father. He picked one up, felt the coolness of the metal against his palm. An idea bloomed, linking him to the man he'd once sought to emulate. As he crafted each piece, as the wood began to yield to his hands, his frustration bled into the grain. It became an unintentional sanctuary, transforming despair into something tangible. Yet just as his spirit began to align with this newfound purpose, a confrontation with Matt simmered, boiling over into a clash. A moment Tom knew would either mend their fractured bond or sever it irrevocably. Facing each other, vulnerabilities laid bare, Tom's mind raced with questions. Could Matt ever understand the true meaning of family? Or was the shadow of the BMW destined to forever loom between them? As Tom stood there, the air thick with unspoken fears and raw emotion, he understood something vital. The path ahead was treacherous, wrought with uncertainty. Yet, he felt compelled to forge ahead, driven by the longing to reclaim not just his identity, but the respect he feared he'd lost. The tension hung in the air like a dense fog, wrapping around Tom as he stared at Matt, his son, grappling for a sense of clarity amid emotional chaos. The explosion of anger from their confrontation echoed in the silence, leaving both men vulnerable yet frustrated. Tom's heart pounded, caught between the urge to respond with a barrage of his feelings and the necessity for a rational dialogue. "Matt," "It's not about the car," Tom finally managed, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "It's about what it represents. Values we've lost somewhere along the way." He gestured towards the gleaming BMW, senses heightened to the absurdity of what they were arguing about. The sleek lines and polished finish reflected not just wealth, but the shifting paradigm that threatened to swallow their family values whole. Matt's expression shifted, confusion and defensiveness battling within him. "What do you want me to say, Dad? I thought I was making Mom happy." The hurt beneath his words struck Tom deeply. He had only ever wanted for Matt to recognize the merit of hard work over fleeting splendors. Yet, this was a turning point, a crack in the emotional armor shielding their relationship. In that brief moment of vulnerability, a strange resolve emerged within Tom. He wouldn't let the fractures widen. Instead, he began to articulate his fears and dreams directly. "I'm proud of what you've accomplished, but I want you to appreciate the journey, the lessons, not just the shiny destination." He could see the gears turning in Matt's mind, the frustration lifting slowly like the morning mist. Tom endeavored to share not only his ideals, but his journey, revealing how dreams had been built on resilience and sacrifice. Days passed as Tom made an effort to bridge that rift. Each morning, he dedicated himself to woodworking, channeling both his frustrations and newfound resolve into tangible creations. The rhythmic sound of the saw became soothing, a meditative chant of self-restoration. With each piece he crafted, a table here, a chair there, he began to find a surprising joy in the process. A sense of purpose gripped him tighter than before, filling the voids left by self-doubt. One evening, he invited Matt to watch as he constructed a bench. It felt like a metaphor for their relationship, something that could take shape if they worked on it together. "Will you help me with this?" Tom asked, hoping to wrap Matt in the warmth of shared creation. Matt hesitated at first, but when he approached the workbench, a flicker of interest sparked. They worked side by side, the air buzzing with the sound of tools and the occasional laughter, an echo of better times. Slowly, Tom noticed a shift in Matt. The boy who had gifted an expensive car now seemed interested in the value of simplicity. "Did you really learn all this from Grandpa?" Matt looked at the pieces, tracing the outline of the unfinished bench. There was awe in his voice. Tom hadn't expected the question, nor the depth of yearning for connection behind it. "Yes, but it's more than just the skills, son," Tom replied. "It's about finding joy in the craft and meaning in what we create for one another." As they shared that evening, the foundation of their prior disconnect began to reshape. Conversations flowed easier, filled with questions, stories, and insights they had long stifled. It was a fragile peace, one neither of them could take for granted. But lurking beneath the surface, Tom sensed shadows of doubt once more, whispering that this newfound connection could be fleeting. What if the allure of materialism reared its head again? Would their bond hold when placed under pressure? The bench stood incomplete, a promise of what could be, as both father and son reflected on the journey ahead. Would they crumble under the weight of expectation again? Or could they build something that would withstand the test of time? Tom glanced at the half-finished project, the wood grain gleaming softly in light, and felt a surge of determination. It was time for both of them to confront lingering insecurities, to discuss what was at stake beyond the material. The time had come to face the deeper question. How far were they both willing to go to ensure that the legacy built in wood and love would not be overshadowed by envy and doubt? The following week unfurled like a thick tapestry, each day adding woven threads of tension and potential. Tom found himself in a groove, his woodworking becoming less of an escape and more of a catalyst for transformation. Each morning began with the scent of freshly cut wood, filling him with clarity, and with it came a renewed sense of purpose. He approached the unfinished bench with greater resolve, envisioning not just a piece of furniture, but a testament to rebuilding his relationship with Matt. One Saturday, as the sun slanted through the workshop's window, illuminating dust motes in the air, Tom decided it was time to broach the subject that had loomed heavily over them. He gathered courage, a well-formed plan resting in his mind, and turned to Matt, who was engrossed in smoothing rough wood with sandpaper. "Matt, we need to talk," Tom said, his heart racing slightly. He knew the conversation could tip either way, spiraling into an abyss or leading to deeper understanding. Matt glanced up, his blue eyes guarded. "About what?" Tom paused, composing his thoughts. "About that BMW you bought. And more than that, about what we've been avoiding these days." He gestured towards the bench, its silhouette a stark reminder of both their struggles and the harmony they sought to build. "What's the big deal, Dad?" Matt fiddled with the sandpaper, avoiding eye contact. There was an edge to his voice, a defensiveness that jolted Tom. Tom inhaled deeply, summoning the patience he would need. "It's a big deal because it's a symbol of something deeper between us. If I focus on what you can buy, and not the values behind it, where does that leave us?" He could see uncertainty flickering across Matt's face. "Dad, I thought," Matt began, but Tom interrupted gently. "I thought that if we could talk about it, really talk, we might find a way through this fog together." He saw Matt's posture soften slightly at the sincerity in his tone. "All right," Matt said, begrudgingly lowering the sandpaper. "What do you want me to say?" "Not what I want you to say. What do you think? What does that car mean to you? And what do you want it to mean in our lives?" Tom's voice was steady, inviting conversation rather than a confrontation. Matt's jaw tightened, his defenses crumbling under the weight of introspection. "It means success, I guess. I wanted to prove I could provide for Mom and make her happy." "And are you happy?" The question hung between them like a delicate thread. For a moment, Matt looked lost, as though he were calculating the weight of happiness versus expectation. "I don't know. I just thought, that's what people do, right? They buy nice things and everyone else admires them. And sometimes we confuse admiration for happiness." Tom's voice softened, understanding that Matt was wrestling with societal pressures even more than he had. "But happiness doesn't come packaged in a car. It's built by the connections we nurture and the experiences we share. You and I, we're crafting something every day, aren't we?" Their eyes met, and for the first time, Tom could see a flicker of realization beneath the surface. They had shared laughter, moments of joy in the workshop, and now that tranquil space stretched before them, begging for further exploration. "Maybe we need to define what success really means to us," Matt finally offered, his voice breaking the silence. "Not what everyone else thinks." Tom felt a thrill of recognition. They were navigating uncharted waters together, and it filled him with a spark of hope. "That's a good start, son. Let's explore that together. Perhaps we can change how we view these things from the ground up." Just then, the hammering on a nearby construction site broke through their moment, reminding them of the world outside their bubble. But Tom knew they had a foundation on which to build more. As he looked at Matt, a new understanding bloomed in the heart of their workshop. But a nagging thought lingered in Tom's mind. Would they be strong enough to hold this newfound understanding amid the expectations of others? The shadows of materialism still loomed large, and he felt a growing urgency to confront them. "Let's finish that bench today," Tom suggested, excitement sparking in his chest. "It won't just be a bench. It will be a reflection of our journey and what we truly value together." As they resumed their work, each movement held a promise. But beneath this collaboration, Tom sensed a gust of uncertainty. What awaited them at the finish line of understanding? Would Matt hold firm against external pressures? Or would another storm sweep them apart? The realization that their bond, like the bench, was still a work in progress, stuck with Tom. And as the hammer hit wood, he pondered the deeper question looming ahead. How would they both navigate the road ahead, glancing back at their past, Even as they pushed forward into the uncertainty of their shared future, Tom's hands instinctively moved with purpose, guiding the chisel across the wood, but his mind struggled to find its rhythm. The bench stood impermanent before them, a symbol of progress, and yet a reminder that their emotional landscape was still riddled with unresolved tension. Each stroke felt more significant than the last, as if the very act of woodworking was a therapy session, a manifestation of hopes pushed through the grain. "Do you think we should add something to it? Maybe an inscription?" Matt's question pierced through Tom's spiral of doubt. Tom paused, his brow furrowing as he considered the meaning behind such a choice. "What would you want it to say?" he finally replied, hoping the conversation would illuminate his son's thoughts further. After a beat, Matt offered, "How about, 'Together we build'?" His voice was tentative, but Tom could sense a flicker of pride in his son's choice. "That's powerful," Tom responded, feeling a warmth spread through him. "It speaks to our journey and what we're trying to achieve. Let's carve that in." As they worked together, Tom felt a strange blend of hope and trepidation. This task of building something physical was not just about the bench. It was about constructing a new narrative for their relationship, one that pushed past just father and son into partners facing life head-on with shared values. But even as their hands worked in concert, Tom's thoughts drifted to a single pressing dilemma. Would this newfound bond endure in the face of external pressures, like Matt's inclination toward societal validation? What if the allure of materialism whispered sweet nothings to him again, swaying his ideals back to a superficial standard of success? Later that week, Matt called from the other room, breaking Tom's focus. "Dad, can you help me with something?" He sounded strained. As Tom made his way to Matt's cluttered room, he braced himself for whatever awaited. Arriving, he found Matt hunched over his laptop, his eyes darting across the screen. "I'm looking at cars," Matt blurted out, a mix of excitement and anxiety evident in his tone. "I mean, not just any car. I'm thinking about getting a new one, something more luxurious." Tom felt the air in the room shift. The tangible connection they had crafted felt tenuous now. He took a deep breath, weighing his response before steering the conversation. "What's driving this need for a new car? Is it the BMW? Or something deeper?" Matt's fingers paused above the keyboard, and a moment of stillness settled. "I guess I'm feeling pressure, Dad. Everyone around me seems to be upgrading their lives, and I don't want to fall behind. I want to show I can do the same. It's about being recognized." An underlying fear twisted in Tom's stomach as he understood the fragility of this realization. "But son, are you finding happiness in recognition? Or is it in the connections you build?" Matt's face grew contemplative, though his defenses remained firmly in place. "It feels like I need to keep up, to have something to show." What if your worth was measured by how you treat others, by the stories you share, and the experiences you create, rather than the car in your garage? Tom pressed, trying to peel back the layers of materialistic expectations. The quiet stretch between them felt heavy but necessary. Slowly, Matt reopened the conversation about "Together we build." "I like that. But I wonder if I'm ready to let go of what everyone else thinks." Tom felt the chasm of doubt widen, sensing that their journey was still fraught with obstacles. The workshop felt like a sanctuary, but was now riddled with complexities. Each decision held the weight of their growing bond, making the stakes all the more significant. As dusk settled in through the workshop's windows, Tom knew they were facing a crucial turning point. Would Matt continue to wrestle against societal norms, or could he embrace this new definition of success crafted from genuine connection? Tom picked up the tools, eyes fixed on the unfinished bench, feeling the palpable tension. The emotional lines were drawn, and the outcome remained suspended in uncertainty. Would they endure the trials ahead? Or would the pressures of the world snap the fragile strand they've begun to weave together? The truth loomed ahead, whispered amongst the shadows in the workshop. How could their bond withstand the challenges that awaited them outside? The hammer struck the wood, echoing their struggle, as both men faced the reality of redefining not just their lives, but what truly connected them. And with that strike, Tom sensed change ripple silently beneath the surface, just waiting to be fully realized. Tom felt a knot tighten in his chest as the quiet of the workshop fell heavy around them. He stood motionless, tools in hand, replaying not just the conversation with Matt, but the weight of every uncarved piece of wood before him. The implications of their discussions loomed larger than the half-finished bench. It was more than just a project. It was their journey, their attempts to meld values, with each tool stroke a step into potentially uncharted territory. Days turned into restless nights, and Tom found himself evaluating his own aspirations. Was he, too, caught in the snare of material success? Watching Matt chase fleeting validation made him reflect on the pressure he felt throughout his own career. What did he truly seek? The recognition of peers, the comfort of financial stability, or something deeper, more fulfilling? One evening, while cleaning the workshop, a friend of his from the past unexpectedly appeared at the door. Kyle was a former colleague, someone who had been drawn into the whirlwind of corporate ladder climbing, an acquaintance who once shared similar dreams with Tom. Tom's heart sank slightly. He hadn't spoken to him in years, and the glitz of success surrounded Kyle like a dark cloud. "Tom, it's been ages!" Kyle feigned enthusiasm, his eyes scanning the makeshift workshop with a mix of curiosity and judgment. "I heard you're doing this woodworking thing. That's interesting." Tom sensed the condescension laced in Kyle's tone. The way he said interesting implied that Tom's choice to embrace craftsmanship was somehow beneath him, a mere hobby rather than a valid pursuit. "Yeah, it's been a journey," Tom replied, adopting a nonchalant demeanor as he wiped sawdust off his hands. "Oh well, you should really come join us at the firm again. Huge bonuses, big projects. You'd be surprised at what you can do with a little ambition," Kyle pressed, leaning against the doorframe casually, displaying all the glimmers of a corporate suit that had succeeded in climbing to the upper echelons of his field. Tom met his gaze with a steadiness that surprised him. "I've found fulfillment in other places, Kyle." "Fulfillment?" Kyle scoffed, raising an eyebrow. "You mean in carving benches? Come on, man. What you really want is recognition. People want to see your name on the company's top revenue charts." A flood of toxicity poured over the runaway defiance Tom felt growing within him. It revealed itself in that moment, a reflection on what he and Matt had been navigating together. But at what cost? Putting my name out there for a corporate snapshot, or creating something meaningful with my own hands? Kyle rolled his eyes. "You're romanticizing it. Real life is about climbing and displaying success." Tom bristled at the thought that his life was being judged. And what about friendship? Connection? What happens to those qualities when you're always racing for the next big title? The defenses between them heightened, but Tom felt something else, a burgeoning determination coiling within. Kyle had triggered a mounting urgency. The way he represented sterile ambition made Tom reconsider that urgency in terms of his own craft, his own narratives that he had begun to weave. "Maybe I'm not ready to let go of what everyone else thinks, but I want to build something different." Tom steadied his voice. "And that's worth exploring." With their exchange echoing in his heart, Tom drove his hands into the work again. Each carving was a rebellion, each stroke weighted with purpose. He began to envision beyond the bench. It was not merely wood to him. It was a manifestation of the bonds he shared, the delicate balance between the man he used to be and the father he aspired to be. But how could he inspire that same understanding in Matt? How could he help him navigate through the shallow allure of societal expectations that Kyle represented? The challenge ahead whispered uncertainty through every grain of wood. As the workshop darkened, Tom realized he was not just shaping a bench. He was shaping values, a lasting legacy. With every tap of the chisel, he contemplated the deeper philosophy behind creation. Would Matt stand by him in that philosophy, Or would the world's seductive whisper continue to pull them apart? An idea sparked within Tom. What if he shared more than just the woodworking craft? What if he revealed the insecurities behind chasing validation? Could vulnerability be a bridge rather than a barrier in their relationship? With this newfound clarity, Tom sensed the shift ahead. The moment had come to face their greatest challenge together. How could they redefine their existence in a world that demanded their worth be measured by possessions rather than connection? As night enveloped the workshop, the weight of the questions hung in the air like the scent of sawdust, ready to take form, like the stories still waiting to be carved. Tom awoke the next morning with determination coursing through his veins. The shadows of sleepless nights had dulled into a focused brightness as the sunlight streamed through the workshop's cracked windows. He grabbed his tools, each one a symbol of his journey, and began shaping the wood with renewed vigor. The bench was no longer just a project. It would represent a turning point, his very message to Matt. He envisioned a series of artistic pieces that intertwined functional design with emotional resonance. As he worked, he allowed thoughts to flow freely. What if he transformed their workshop into a space where craftsmanship intersected with life lessons? He imagined not merely teaching Matt how to carve, but sharing the insecurities and triumphs that emerged alongside every chipped piece of wood. Each step felt like an exploration of his own psyche. But Tom knew that thoughts alone wouldn't carry weight. He needed to confront Matt. How could he help his son see the depth beneath craft, beyond just superficial pursuits? Later, Tom found Matt crouched over a small project in the far corner of the workshop. His focus was hyper-acute, the sound of carving merging with the rhythm of his thoughts. Watching him, Tom recognized Matt's natural talent as a craftsman. Yet, buried beneath, he sensed the pressure Matt felt to achieve, to prove himself. Gathering strength from the clarity he had found, Tom approached cautiously. "Hey, Matt," he began, his voice steady. "Can we talk about something important?" Matt looked up, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face, but he nodded. Tom took a deep breath, the weight of his intentions heavy in the air. "I've been thinking about what we do here. It's not just about making things. It's about what we're creating within ourselves, too." He gestured towards the bench, feeling an invigorating spark ignite within. "Every mark is a reflection of our choices, our journey." "What do you mean?" Matt asked, a hint of curiosity breaking through his cautious demeanor. "The other day I spoke with Kyle. He's convinced that success is all about climbing and recognition," Tom replied, watching as Matt's expression shifted slightly. That conversation highlighted something for me. It made me realize that maybe we've both been chasing what others expect of us instead of carving our own paths. Matt hesitated, and Tom took the pause as an opportunity to delve deeper. "It's not about how people perceive us, Matt. It's about what we feel inside. When I'm here, working with my hands, I feel alive. Do you feel that too?" Eyes darting down to the wood shavings, Matt finally spoke. "Sometimes I wonder if that feeling will ever be enough. I want to make something great. Something that'll show others what I can achieve." "Do you really?" The question hung in the space between them, piercing through Matt's doubts and aspirations. "Is that what you truly seek? Or is it just the voice of the world pushing you?" The workshop fell into a thick silence. Tom sensed the internal struggle churning within Matt, the battle between ambition and authenticity. This moment, this confrontation, not only held weight between father and son, but also pressed against the very essence of who they wanted to become. As the sky began to dim, casting shadows that danced across the workshop, Tom drew closer, his voice lowering to a resonant tone. "What if we made a piece together? Something that captures our experiences. An artwork that reflects our journey. Not just the success, but the struggles, the lessons." Matt's gaze lifted, curiosity and caution waging war in his eyes. "A piece for the shop? No," Tom said, feeling the urgency build. A piece for ourselves. A statement about who we are, not who we think we should be. In that moment, Matt cracked a small smile, the tension melting slightly. Okay, let's try it. But where do we even start? As Tom chuckled, relief washing over him, a new plan began to take root in his mind. Not just about crafting a piece of furniture, but about forging a deeper bond through their shared struggle and triumphs. The air was charged with potential, ready to transform into something tangible, something true. But as they began to sketch their ideas, the lingering tension of Kyle's words and their implications echoed in his mind. What if the very act of reclaiming authenticity led them down paths that were even more challenging than they anticipated? Would they find the courage to redefine their worth in a world still ensnared by superficiality? As twilight descended, the workshop buzzed with fresh energy, a new journey beginning to unfold. The morning after their pivotal conversation saw Tom immersed in the whirlwind of creative energy, the air thick with possibility. He studied the wood stack. They were raw materials poised for transformation, much like himself and Matt. The project before him had shifted from mere carpentry to a metaphorical workshop for their lives. Today, he pushed deeper into the artistic concepts pulsing in his mind. He envisioned a piece that transcended utility, perhaps a wooden sculpture that captured the fluidity of family dynamics, each curve representing an emotion lived. Tom's hands moved deftly, shaking off accumulated doubts, the rhythm of his craft resonating with his purpose. As he shaped the wood, the thoughts flowed like water finding its course. Could this piece be a bridge for Matt? To connect the silences that had once hung between them? The vision magnified, filling the workshop with a melody of hope. But the vibrations of creativity were tainted. Faint echoes of Kyle's philosophies weighed heavily on his mind. What if their artistic endeavor was simply a distraction, a temporary fix for deeper issues? Tom halted, wiping his forehead with the back of his hand, hesitation creeping in. Matt's success. What did that really mean? Recognition? Validation? Or was it merely a flicker of approval that diminished the moment he received it? The wooden block before him held no answer, but it invited contemplation. He decided to break free from the solo effort that had defined him. Calling out for Matt, Tom felt the edge of anticipation blended with vulnerability. Hey, Matt! It's time to make our first moves together on this piece. Matt emerged from the quiet side of the workshop, his demeanor cautious but curious. Tom gestured toward the rough-hewn logs, a spark igniting in his eyes. Let's start shaping this together, as a team. Our experiences can guide the design. I've never really worked on something like this, Matt admitted, shifting his weight. There was fear hidden in his admission. Perfect. That's where the growth happens, Tom encouraged, the unexpected assertiveness surprising him. We'll learn as we go, but let's make a pact. No holding back. Share your thoughts about each design choice. Let's carve out each layer together. Through the process, Tom quickly found that guiding Matt was akin to unraveling a puzzle, pieces fitting and misaligning, revealing unexpected dimensions. As the hours unfolded, they exchanged ideas, laughter, and even frustrations. Brick by brick, frustration by frustration, they began to understand each other anew. The cutting of wood became a dialogue, an intimate exploration of thoughts buried under expectations. Each notch, each contour, was infused with their wrestled emotions and newfound revelations. Tom noted Matt's growing confidence. He began proposing creative solutions that surprised them both. And yet, moments of doubt lurked in the background, flickers of skepticism breaking through their emotional flow. Dad, Matt ventured as they took a break, his brow creased with thought. What if we can't get this piece right? What if ours isn't the grand statement we planned? Tom paused, recognizing the pain behind his son's vulnerability. Does it have to be grand? What if the beauty lies in its imperfections? He leaned against a workbench, quiet contemplation settling in. Isn't it about the journey we take while creating, rather than the outcome? The unease dissipated slowly, their creative flow rejuvenated in the understanding available in their shared vulnerabilities. The idea of success began to morph from defined external markers to the intangible growth they both experienced along the way. Tom saw the potential to carve, not just wood, but their own narrative together. As the evening sun streamed through the windows, casting a warm glow over the workshop in shadows of possibility, a sudden realization struck Tom. This endeavor, while seemingly therapeutic, had potential for confrontation beyond their workshop walls, a growing urge to reclaim their identities from outside expectations. An emerging thought crashed against him. What if this piece could help them redefine success to include the scars of their struggles? A true masterpiece reflecting their essence rather than societal measures. But as these thoughts spiraled, and the weight of his mission deepened, Tom couldn't shake an ominous feeling that this reclamation would ignite challenges they were unprepared to face. Perhaps confronting the outside world was the real test, grappling with boundaries that had been defined by others. "Matt," he said slowly, savoring the gravity of what lay ahead. "This piece could mean so much more than we've talked about. Are we ready to confront what comes next?" Matt met his father's gaze, determination flickering in his eyes, but uncertainty lingered in the air. What if we aren't? In that very moment, they stood on the precipice of not just crafting a sculpture, but forging courage and resilience, integrating their artistry with the authenticity of their lives. As the twilight dimmed around them, the chisel lay dormant, and the stirring anticipation of the unknown settled in. The question loomed, a wisping shadow wrapped in hope and fear. Could they seize the courage needed for this journey? Tom's mind buzzed with a whirlwind of thoughts as he and Matt resumed their work the next day. The workshop was alive with the rich smell of wood shavings and the soft groans of tools meeting the grain. He couldn't shake off the hefty questions that had surfaced the night before. What would it truly mean to confront their external challenges? In the back of his mind, Tom knew that the sculpture they were carving could be a reflection of far more than their familial bonds. The raw wood seemed to echo with the voices of his past decisions, urging a confrontation that he both craved and feared. "Dad, which side should we start on?" Matt asked, his voice pulling Tom from introspection. The enthusiasm in his son's tone sparked something within him, a reminder that through this project, there existed an uncharted territory to explore together. "Why don't we start from the center?" Tom suggested, gesturing toward the stout trunk of wood before them. "It's the heart of the piece, and we can work our way out from there." As they began removing wood, watchful of each other's movements, the rhythm of their efforts took on a new meaning. Every stroke was a conversation, a silent exchange threaded with purpose. Tom marveled at the way Matt's ideas emerged from uncertainty, shaping into something tangible. Perhaps Matt was finding his voice in this exercise too. But the nagging voice of doubt hovered persistently. What if this project ultimately fell flat? What if their labor of love did not yield the transformative power Tom envisioned? He couldn't ignore the shadows that lurked in his mind. "Is it odd that I'm scared?" Matt eventually admitted, as silence enveloped them momentarily. Tom could sense the gravity in his son's words resonated with his own. "It's not odd at all. Fear can be a helpful tool, a guide through the process," Tom replied. "Embrace it. Let's figure out what the fear is trying to teach us." As they continued to carve, with each segment of wood discarded, a new vulnerability began to weave into their interaction. Their hands, previously encumbered by latent apprehensions, now moved with a sense of trust. Together, they were transcending simple artistry into a form of emotional expression. The impromptu discourses on the project shifted to the very fabric of their lives, the scars of their past intertwined with the emerging form. With each passing hour, Tom caught glimpses of resilience igniting within Matt. "What if we left some rough edges on purpose? Not everything has to be polished," he suggested, a spark of creativity ignited in their workshop dialogue. "Exactly." Matt's eyes lit up, the notion invigorating him. It shows that nothing's perfect, but those imperfections tell the story too. Tom's heart swelled. The idea of embracing flaws had taken shape in Matt's perception of art and life, potentially reshaping not just their sculpture, but their relationship. But then, the weight of their project's direction pressed down once again. Tom paused, watching Matt as he focused intensely on the wood, and felt an undeniable urge to address what they hadn't yet confronted. Their struggle with familial expectations, the unspoken pressures that loomed over both their definitions of success. "That's beautiful, son," Tom finally said, breaking the silence. "What you said about imperfections. It feels like it applies to so much more than this piece alone. How we lived, what we carry into our lives, it shapes who we are." "Yeah, but does that mean we just embrace the mess?" Matt challenged, a flicker of unease creeping back into his expression. "What if embracing the mess allows us to live authentically?" Tom replied, the idea forming a pivotal point of connection between them. "What if we can redefine our own success, rather than bow to someone else's expectations?" In that moment, Tom realized they were on the brink of real change. No longer merely sculpting wood just for the sake of art. They were embarking on a journey of self-discovery. This new mission could become their path towards reclaiming identities and confronting the world outside the workshop, a realm filled with its own complexities. As the chisel bit into the wood, carving deeper into the metaphor of their lives, Tom felt a fierce determination take hold. Yet, lurking just beyond their burgeoning synergy, he sensed a brewing tempest, the inevitable hurdles of authenticity that awaited beyond the walls of their crafted sanctuary. Are we truly ready for what lies beyond this? He wondered aloud, the pressure of the outside world suddenly heavier than the wood they manipulated. Matt met his father's gaze, understanding dawning in his eyes. "Let's find out." But even as they moved forward together, a question lingered ominously in the background. Would courage be enough to carry them through the truths they had yet to face? The workshop hummed with the steady rhythm of chiseling as Tom and Matt delved deeper into their sculpture. Each pass of the tool unearthed not just wood, but reflections of themselves and their estranged hopes. In the heart of the creation process, however, Tom's thoughts spun in conflicting directions. Was he really ready for the acceptance of their imperfect artistry? And could he extend that acceptance to himself? Matt's earlier enthusiasm flickered at times, as doubt clouded his brow. Tom noticed a subtle shift in his son. An internal conflict seemed to wrestle beneath the surface. The thought of being criticized or misunderstood loomed large in the air, casting shadows on their collaborative venture. "Dad, do you ever feel overwhelmed by what others expect from you?" Matt asked during a lull in their labor, his voice laced with trepidation. Tom paused, rolling the question around in his mind. He had carved out a life in pursuit of particular ideals: financial stability, a reputation as a skilled craftsman, and a father who could provide. Yet these aspirations had walls, too rigid and stifling. "All the time," he admitted, allowing the weight of vulnerability to hang between them. "We get so caught up in what others deem as success, we forget to ask ourselves what we truly want." Matt kept carving, but his eyes darted as if he were dissecting Tom's words. "What if we both just stopped trying to impress everyone? What if we made something just for us?" Exactly. The thought sparked a flicker of exhilaration in Tom. What if we unapologetically embraced our uniqueness? This sculpture could be a reflection of what we love, not what looks good to others. As more wood fell away, pieces of their past and of their family dynamics began streaming forth. Each cut seemed to chisel away at decades of expectation and self-doubt. The raw, unrefined edges they left felt laden with significance, a testament not just to their journey as artists, but as individuals reclaiming their identities. Matt offered, "We could carve symbols that represent our struggles, you know? Make them part of the design rather than hiding them." His voice brimmed with newfound conviction, excitement twisting the vulnerability into courage. Tom smiled. That's the spirit. Those symbols can speak volumes about us, our history, our triumphs. But beneath the excitement lurked a sobering thought. Even as they flourished in this newfound bravery, external pressures loomed like specters waiting to loom over their creation. What if this sculpture does get judged? Came the undercurrent of apprehension. The raw honesty exchange between them was akin to a double-edged sword. Freeing yet frightening. Really? What's worse? Came Matt's question with sudden ferocity, breaking through their contemplative hush. To do something we love and be ridiculed, or to live our lives molded by someone else's idea of success? I choose the first option. Tom felt a surge of pride as he sensed the determination in his son's voice. That's powerful, Matt. It means we're not just creating a sculpture. We're forming a legacy of authenticity. Yet somewhere in the depths of that stirring passion, an unsettling doubt remained. Were they truly prepared to face the voices of judgment that inevitably awaited them? The carving progressed, but the deeper they got, the less secure Tom felt. What if this authenticity they chased led to a deeper confrontation with their failures? Honesty could free them, but it could also expose wounds long buried. Matt glanced up, his expression probing. What are you thinking about, Dad? Caught off guard, Tom hesitated, the words swirling in his throat. I'm just wondering if we're ready to face what might come. Not everyone will understand what we're trying to achieve. Then let's prepare for that, Matt declared firmly. Let's own our truth. If we can face the outside world with all its contradictions, we can face what we've kept hidden from each other. Tom weighed his son's words carefully, realizing they were echoing a call for deeper exploration. Courage and artistry intertwined, yet the repercussions of this journey loomed ahead. His heart raced as he thought of the inevitable critiques their unveiling would invite. Matt, he began tentatively, what happens when we carve not just the wood, but also our deepest truths, and still feel unprepared for the outcome? As the chisel once more connected with the wood, another truth settled into Tom. The weight of transformation was heavy, yet deeply necessary. They had traversed mere artistry and unearthed the essence of their unresolved narrative, and the process alone felt daunting. Let's find out together, Matt said, grounding Tom in the present moment while stretching beyond it. But the reality of their impending unveiling loomed like a storm, and Tom sensed a profound reckoning, one that would push them beyond wood and carving, a confrontation with every unexpressed fear they held. Would they be ready for the fallout? The day had finally arrived when the sculpture was complete. Tom stepped back, taking in the curves, the rough edges, and the symbols carved deeply into the wood's surface. Each contour shared their journey, the countless doubts, the rekindled bond between father and son, and the acceptance of imperfection woven into their lives. It was more than just a piece. It was a declaration of everything they had lived, learned, and overcome together. Yet, as he ran his hand across the grain, a swell of anxiety bubbled up inside him. They had discussed the challenges that lay ahead, and now the time had come to confront the very judgments they had feared. Tom cast a glance at Matt, who was poised next to him, a mixture of pride and apprehension dancing on his face. Are you ready? Tom asked, his voice steady yet laced with uncertainty. Matt nodded, eyes fixed on the sculpture. I am. I want to embrace what we've created together. That declaration echoed in Tom's mind, stirring the courage he needed. Let's show everyone what we've made. They decided to unveil the piece at a small gathering of close friends and family, a deliberate choice to ensure they could control the audience and cushion the potential impact of judgment. As they set up the small event in the workshop, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. Tom rummaged through his thoughts, wondering what everyone's reactions would be. Would they understand the depth of their creation? Or would the judgments focused on surface appearances cloud their intentions? Friends and family arrived, the casual chatter filling the workshop with warmth, Tom felt a sense of nostalgia wash over him. This space, once a sanctuary for loneliness, had transformed into a beacon of connection. After some small talk, Tom felt a rush of anticipation. Thank you all for being here today. What we're about to reveal isn't just a sculpture. It's a culmination of a journey between a father and son, a testament to our struggles and growth. His voice surged with conviction, blending seamlessly with the energy in the room. As Matt stepped forward, he added, "This piece contains our fears, our imperfections, and the journey we took together to reclaim who we are." The gravity of his words resonated in the hearts of everyone present. With a very deliberate motion, they unveiled the sculpture, a piece that melded their individual artistry and authenticated their shared experience. Gasps echoed in the room, eyes widened in astonishment, and for a moment, time suspended as the audience absorbed the raw beauty before them. "What does this mean?" one friend finally asked, breaking the silence. Tom inhaled deeply, feeling the moment open up for him. "It's a reminder that success isn't just about wealth or status. It's about the connections we build and the love we share. Matt and I learned that every imperfection tells a story. Our journey is what shapes us." They listened as the group offered heartfelt insights, engaging with the sculpture on personal levels, interpreting it as a narrative of family and resilience. Praise flowed, but more importantly, gratitude filled the air. It seemed like the very essence of their creation resonated even deeper than they had anticipated. It was a pivotal moment, not just for Tom and Matt, but for everyone present. Friends began to view their own experiences through the lens of authenticity, inspired by the bravery it took to face societal pressures head-on. In that workshop, a deep bond forged in shared vulnerabilities blossomed in an unexpected space. Tom's heart swelled with pride, not just for the sculpture but for the connection made that day. Both he and Matt had transformed before their friends, not merely as craftsmen, but as individuals reclaiming their identities and acknowledging the beauty of imperfection. After the gathering, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden hues through the workshop, Matt turned to Tom. "We really did something special today." The weight of their journey had shifted, their bond solidified. "Yes, we did," Tom said, allowing a smile to break through. "We conquered more than just wood. We embraced our truths and fears, and we created something that represents who we want to be." Tom stood in the warmth of that moment, secure in his growth and feeling a renewed sense of self-worth. He had not only reclaimed his position as a father, but he had also emerged as an architect of authenticity, both in art and in life. And with that realization washed over him, he felt solid confidence. Tom understood that they had proven something immeasurable: the value of honesty, the importance of family, and their right to define success for themselves. As they surveyed their workshop, a space now full of meaning, Tom knew he was prepared for whatever the world outside would bring. The final question lingered in the air like a soft whisper. Now that they had embraced their true selves, were they ready to navigate the complexities of the world with courage and love? They locked eyes, knowing that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. You need to subscribe now to witness more incredible journeys of transformation and resilience. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and ensure others can experience these tales. Comment below with your reactions and thoughts about this poignant conclusion. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring story. You can change someone's perspective today. This is the moment to show your support for personal growth narratives.